If you're tired of the constant chaos of multiplayer gaming, you're absolutely not alone. There's something incredibly refreshing about stepping away from competitive online matches, toxic chat channels, and the endless pressure to rank up or keep pace with other players. Single-player games offer something that multiplayer experiences simply cannot: complete control over your own pace, your own story, and your own journey through a world designed specifically for you to explore at your leisure. Whether you're someone who finds multiplayer stressful, prefer narrative-driven experiences, or just want to unwind without the burden of letting teammates down, single-player games are where you'll find true gaming bliss. Let's talk about The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This game is an absolute masterpiece for anyone seeking an immersive single-player adventure. Geralt of Rivia's story unfolds across a massive open world filled with meaningful side quests, fascinating characters, and moral decisions that actually matter. The narrative is so gripping that you'll find yourself playing for hours without even thinking about what time it is. Every choice you make feels consequential, and the world reacts to your decisions in ways that keep you coming back for new playthroughs. The Witcher 3 isn't about winning or losing against opponents, it's about being completely absorbed in a living, breathing fantasy world where your choices define the story. Then there's Baldur's Gate 3, a game that has absolutely revolutionized what we expect from single-player role-playing experiences. This game is phenomenal because it respects your intelligence and your agency as a player. You're not following a linear path. You're genuinely choosing your own adventure. Every conversation can go in wildly different directions based on your dialogue choices, your character stats, and even your personality. The game rewards experimentation and curiosity. You might solve a puzzle in a completely unexpected way, or convince an enemy to stand down instead of fighting. The sheer depth of storytelling and the number of unique playthroughs possible make Baldur's Gate 3 an evergreen masterpiece for single-player enthusiasts. If you're looking for something more intimate and character-driven, Hades is an exceptional choice. This roguelike dungeon crawler breaks the mold by combining challenging gameplay with an absolutely stellar story. Every single run through the underworld, whether you win or lose, adds something meaningful to the overall narrative. You'll encounter different characters, unlock new dialogue, and gradually piece together an incredible story about escape, family, and redemption. The art style is gorgeous, the soundtrack is phenomenal, and the gameplay is satisfying in a way that makes you want just one more run. Even when you're exhausted, Hades proves that single-player games can be endlessly replayable without relying on multiplayer competition. For those who want a deeply emotional, story-first experience, Life is Strange is absolutely unmissable. This narrative adventure game puts you in the shoes of Max Caulfield, a high school girl who discovers she can rewind time. The game is built entirely around choice and consequence. Your decisions ripple through the story in ways you won't fully understand until much later. There's no combat, no competition, and no pressure except the pressure you put on yourself to make the right choices. The emotional weight of this game is profound, and it perfectly demonstrates that you don't need action or competition to create a gripping gaming experience. Now let's discuss Elden Ring, which might seem like an odd recommendation for someone who hates multiplayer. While Elden Ring does have optional multiplayer elements, you can absolutely experience the entire game solo. What makes Elden Ring special is that it's a masterclass in environmental storytelling and exploration. You can tackle challenges in virtually any order. You can stumble upon incredible boss fights by accident, discover hidden dungeons on your own, and piece together the world's history through careful observation and item descriptions. There's something profoundly satisfying about learning a difficult boss pattern through pure practice and determination, without any teammates to rely on or players invading to interrupt your focus. Control is a phenomenal choice for single-player gaming. This action-adventure game features a fascinating protagonist, Jesse Faden, navigating a mysterious government facility called the Old House. The world-building is exceptional, the combat is fluid and satisfying, and the narrative is genuinely intriguing. You're constantly uncovering secrets, collecting lore documents, and unraveling a mystery that spans multiple dimensions and timelines. The atmosphere is brooding and atmospheric, perfect for solo play when you want to be completely immersed without worrying about what other players are doing. Stardew Valley deserves mention as the ultimate Zen single-player game. There's no combat, no story pressure, and no multiplayer competition. You're simply running a farm, building relationships with townspeople, and gradually improving your little corner of the world. The game respects your pace completely. You might focus on farming one season, then switch to fishing or mining the next. You might pursue romance, complete the community center, or simply decorate your house exactly the way you want it. Stardew Valley is proof that some of the most satisfying gaming experiences come from gentle, meaningful single-player progression. The Last of Us Part 1 offers a deeply cinematic single-player narrative. This game is essentially an interactive drama about survival, love, and moral ambiguity. The story follows Joel and Ellie across a post-apocalyptic world, and the relationship between these two characters is the heart of everything. The game doesn't need multiplayer components, because the emotional journey is the entire point. You're invested in these characters, you care about their survival, and the choices you make during gameplay feel meaningful because they're tied to their story. Super Metroid, or more recently Metroid Dread, exemplifies the pure joy of solo exploration. These games are about methodically uncovering secrets, gaining new abilities, and returning to previously inaccessible areas with fresh power-ups. There's an incredible satisfaction that comes from finally reaching that hidden room you've been curious about, or discovering a shortcut that makes navigation easier. This sense of personal discovery and mastery is something multiplayer games rarely offer. Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy is a masterclass in single-player platforming adventure. It combines tight gameplay mechanics with charming characters and a world that's genuinely fun to explore. The platforming challenges feel fair, the humor keeps things light, and the journey from beginning to end is an absolute pleasure. This game reminds us that fun, engaging single-player gameplay doesn't require complexity or high-stakes narrative drama. Ghost of Tsushima is a breathtaking samurai epic that showcases why single-player games are so special. Jin's journey is deeply personal, his struggles are profound, and the world of Tsushima is so beautifully rendered that simply exploring feels like an accomplishment. The combat is satisfying without being multiplayer competitive, and the story respects your investment in the character completely. Final Fantasy VII Remake reimagines a classic game with modern production values and a gripping narrative. Cloud's story is personal, the characters feel real and developed, and the combat system is engaging enough to keep you invested without needing other players. The game respects single-player storytelling in a way that makes every moment feel intentional. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice offers intense, focused gameplay that demands complete attention. Every boss fight is a personal battle between you and your opponent. There's no multiplayer distraction, no relying on teammates. It's pure, undiluted, skill-based gameplay that's incredibly rewarding when you finally overcome a seemingly impossible challenge. The satisfaction of beating a boss you've been stuck on is unmatched.